Right then, Shaq. I assume being the professional that you are,
Yeah.
you
Across
saw,
everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
Yeah, everything. You saw yesterday's game between Everton and Manchester United.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. The late goal, obviously, in the end, disallowed.
Yeah.
Offside.
Rightly
From a
so.
goalkeeper stance. Yeah, that's where I'm getting to. Right decision.
Rightly so.
Why?
Because offside is adjudged when the ball is struck. And when Calvert-Lewin strikes the ball, Sigurdsson is quite clearly interfering with David de Gea and is in his line of sight. Now, the deflections come after the fact, but offside is adjudged when the opposing player last strikes the ball. When Calvert-Lewin hits it, there's no question that Sigurdsson is interfering with David de Gea.
Don Hutchison, what do you think?
So here's my beef. Gylfi Sigurdsson was lying on the floor, and David de Gea is 6'4", 6'5", and he's staring down over the top of Gylfi Sigurdsson. I'm left none of the wiser how the goal's been chalked off because of what's come out of the referees is the line of vision, line of sight. How, Shaka, can a goalkeeper of your height be looking over a player that's lying on the floor and then still claim your vision was impaired? It doesn't sit right with me.
Listen, I understand your point, but Sigurdsson is right there in his peripheral vision. Who knows if he wasn't there, if David de Gea would then choose to advance off of his line. There are a lot of unknowns here that I think you have to give the goalkeeper the benefit of the doubt here.
What about Stevie's point that he made yesterday was the fact that if he was so unsighted, then how come he made that step to the right? How come he knew the ball was going in that direction?
The initial shot does go to his right, he does step to his right, and the deflection, listen, if Sigurdsson was not there, I think the goal still goes in and rightly stands. But the fact of the matter is, again, judging it when Calvert-Lewin strikes the ball, you don't know whether David de Gea would have taken that opportunity just to take another step or two towards the player. You don't know if he's in his peripheral vision and just kind of distracting him enough. You have to give the offside there.
You are right in what you say. The deflection doesn't reset the motion of the decision. I've got a massive problem with it. I do still believe the goal should have stood, but I can see where the goalkeepers' union, right, and the referees and former referees, the PGMOL, and some pundits that want to make an argument for the decision being correct, will use the line of sight argument. Now, it's not a stupid argument. It is a legitimate argument. I don't agree with it, but it's legitimate. Unlike the Lo Celso and other instance where they've just looked like a bunch of idiots.
Sure.
They don't look like that here. It's a subjective. Gab mentioned it last night. It is a subjective call. The first time he looked at it, I can tell you he looked at it once and said, I'm with De Gea.
What, were you with him yesterday when he was watching all the games in great detail?
Well, he said to me he was walking around. He's been walking around Carnival in Trinidad with an iPad. He said he's missed not a beat.
Don, what did you make of what we saw afterwards? Carlo Ancelotti, of course, sent off for what he said to the referee.
Yeah, I sort of don't mind that. Everyone knows that Ancelotti's, wears his heart on his sleeve and he's very passionate. I think he said in his post-match that, it's not the first time and it won't be the last. And I think Evertonians will get on board with that. I think any fan, when the emotion inside of Goodison Park... I mean, listen, I'll take you back to a ghost goal that I scored in the Merseyside derby, and a ball that came off my backside with about 10 seconds to go, and it rolled over the line, and Graham Poll was the referee, and as the ball went over the line, he blew his whistle for full time at the Gladys Street end. So there's been so many decisions that have went against Everton at the Gladys Street end. It was all just pandemonium, and it was a bit, very emotional, and I can understand why Ancelotti went onto the pitch to confront the referee because his emotions are high. And I think he was very calm afterwards, and he just said, look, he'll take the punishment. It'll probably be a ban. Not a problem. He said, I'll sit in the stand. I've been there before. And I think Evertonians, like I said, will like that sort of passion in him.
Listen, do we have to get Don's backside into every...
To be honest, I don't know if Ancelotti knows the history of the Gladys Street end or that goal getting off Don's backside.
Don's calling him.
But I want to know what he said to the referee, because I said it yesterday in the show when we were on. It was very headmasterish from the referee. Ancelotti is very much a player's manager, but he's never really been a rant on a raver. He may have. I don't imagine he'd come on and
it's not the referee's fault.
What do you mean?
No, it's not.
He wasn't the one who made the decision, was he?
No, it's not.
No, but what I mean is, unless he's on there effing and blinding and
Correct.
using expletives beyond recognition, I don't see the point of standing there brandishing a red card.
But then why should the referee have to accept that? Another grown man in his face
no,
shouting
why
at him
the
about a
referee-
decision that he didn't make.
No, the referee,
I don't know
has to know. The referee has to know that
grown man in his face.
he's the face of these decisions, right? He's the first port of call, regardless of where that decision was made, whether it was on the sidelines or in the VAR room. He also has to know that this is an emotional game. And especially with calls like this, you're going to have emotions. You're going to have people saying things to you, whether it's a player or a manager.
Give them carte blanche.
At the same time, you can't just go around brandishing red cards just because you don't like what... You have to be able to accept some of this criticism and some of this emotion.
Think of the children, Shaq. What sort of example is that to the youngsters?
And the red card does what?
What? Well, it says, don't be naughty. Don't use naughty words to the referee.
Okay.
That's very bad.
But it goes back to another point about... I was just looking at that big screen behind us. It goes back to...
Thanks, Greg, for that.
I was going back to another point about the final decision should rest with the referee,
Always,
and then
yeah.
we know where the blame lies, not with John Moss in the VAR booth, making a subjective call. And I think that's the frustration for all the players and pundits, and more importantly, managers.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.